Hello everyone, it is Jayden and welcome to The Alpha, the show where we talk about the hottest topics in pop culture and sports. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button on the video, and if you enjoy my commentary and myself truly as always, be sure to tap that subscribe button and to hit that notification bell to get notified when all my videos go live. I love you guys so much. Peace, love, and positivity always, y'all. See ya. My Dallas Cowboys. I broke my neck to watch this game because this game was not getting played on national television. Because they were playing the Jacksonville Jaguars and Pittsburgh Steelers game rather than my Dallas Cowboys on CBS. So I had to, hook up the streaming service and catch the game. And I was interested going into the game, seeing Milton, and I was ready to see Brian Schottenheimer. How would he approach his first game as the head coach? See the new offensive scheme he's been cooking up and things of that nature. Just some little minor details. I wasn't expecting much. No starters were played in this game. We were pretty much playing the third and the fourth stringers the whole game for the majority of the game. So, wasn't much to look forward to outside of really Joe Milton. And it wasn't great. As you can see down in the thumbnail in my lower third below. Tough day down in LA. I felt like a genius when I came up with this, and it rhymes just a little bit, but I digress. A little humor. But guys, the first quarter specifically was absolutely abysmal offensively. Let's not get started with the defense. It's the same thing we've been dealing with the last 4 years. Can't stop the run. Just getting absolutely gashed up the middle. Defensive tackles, they are non-existent. The starting D tackles were pretty much there outside of Osa that I can possibly think of, and Solomon Thomas. Mozzie Smith was playing. Jay Toa, the defensive tackle we drafted out of UCLA in this year's draft, he played. And the other guy, I cannot quite remember his name off the top of my head right now. I think he's like number 97 or 99, and he played. And the Rams pretty much had and ran the ball any type of way they wanted to the whole game, especially in the first quarter. And on the offensive side of the ball, flipping over to that with Brian Schottenheimer, I was curious to see what are we getting into? You promised all these things with emotions on the offense, new mind, because I'm one of those guys, okay? I absolutely hated, and I don't like using the word hate, but I hated Mike McCarthy's coaching scheme, play calling schemes, pass concepts, anywhere that you like to put it. I did not like them. It felt like the same vanilla crap over and over. Slants, hitches, go routes. No crossing routes, no type of motion. If it was motion, it was a predictable type route to run. No corner routes, just no type of spice at all offensively. It was just very stale. He called it, it was a West Coast style of offense. And instead of calling it that, he called it the Texas Coast offense. But my dad came up with this name. It was more like Texas Toast offense. It was absolutely awful. It was abysmal. And honestly, I really do not understand how Dak Prescott had one of his best careers under that type of offense. To me, it was very lackluster. So going into this game, I was very much looking forward to what Brian Schottenheimer had to offer as, the offensive play caller. And when I tell you guys, after the first quarter, they were negative in net yardage after the first quarter on offense. He said going into the game that he was going to let Joe Milton sling it, and my Lord, did he not exaggerate about that. No run plays. I don't even think they ran the ball. And if they did, it didn't mean anything in the first quarter. Put Joe Milton in an absolutely abysmal spot. I think the first 2 drives, they were 3 and out. Didn't even gain a first down. It was a rough watch. And in the second quarter, and let's go back to the first quarter defensively. Maurice Liufau was the only bright spot that whole first quarter. He was around hitting people. I mean, he made the first tackle on kickoff team to start off the game. He was already laying the wood, so to speak. So he was actually my player of the game, really, to be honest with you. So transitioning, and I'm not going to go to quarter, but eventually, because that's going to take too long. So eventually, it got better. Second quarter, got the run game going a little bit. Joe Milton settled in just a little bit. And going into that second half, we got points on the board with just getting 3 points. Second half, get a couple touchdowns. And, Joe Milton actually settled in. He missed a couple of throws, a couple of big throws, specifically a big crossing route. He overshot, I think it was Ryan Flournoy. He overshot Ryan Flournoy, 20-yard crossing route down the field. If he would have hit him, he probably would have hit his head on the goalpost. That's how wide open that he did, and he overshot him. Joe Milton had a really big problem with overshooting a lot of receivers all night. He has trouble with touch on his football so far. He's got the arm. He just needs reps. He just needs reps. They even said that's the first time he started a game in over 2 years. That's the last time Joe Milton has essentially started a football game and been in that type of spotlight. So I give Joe Milton a pass to a certain degree. But overall, from a defensive point of view, the guys that really stood out to me was Zion Childress, the slot corner for the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of people are very optimistic of him possibly getting a starting cornerback position, given that our cornerback depth is so bad right now, because Trayvon Diggs is not going to be ready week 1, nor Siobhan Revel, our third-round pick, so neither one of those are going to be available. And a lot of people have been pushing for Stephon Gilmore to get signed, Rasul Douglas to help out Deron Bland. I'm one of those who are advocating for that because the corner play was absolutely lackluster outside of Zion Childress. Everybody was getting burnt like hot toast outside of Israel Mukuamu. I would not be surprised if they put him at cornerback because he is an absolute stud. He is exceptional anytime he touches the ball field. But Maurice Leofau, Zion Childress are really the only two that I can explicitly say that popped off of the screen for me from the defensive side of the ball. Defensive tackles, absolutely lackluster, garbage performance. I think Jay Toya, is it Joy Toya? Jay Toya, I don't even know his name. He had one of the worst grades running and pass defending on Pro Football Focus. Both were in the low 20s and the 30s. Absolutely abysmal grades. He was horrible all night on Saturday evening. Same goes along with Mozzie Smith. It just defensively, it's the same thing over and over. They pretty much answered the question that we already knew going into the season. The defense, they're going to get gashed by the run. They're optimistic in the pass game. Their pass rush without Micah Parsons isn't going to get anywhere. And there you go. Ezaraku, the edge rusher that we drafted in the second round, he was actually pretty good. He sparkled here, there, and everywhere. But offensively, Joe Milton, I give a pass because this is his first game. He hasn't had much playing time and, reps, in-game reps. So I give him a pass to a certain degree. I want to see him progressively get better, something that we didn't really see with Trey Lance last year in the preseason. I just want to see him get progressively better because I think Joe Milton overall is a better quarterback than Trey Lance at the moment. Even he showed more promise than what Trey Lance did in this preseason game. But outside of Joe Milton, push him to the side. Phil Maffa, I think, was a bright spot, and Malik Davis. Specifically with Phil Maffa, the way he ran the ball. He is complementing that type of offensive scheme that Brian Schottenheimer is trying to implement in Dallas, that really bump and run, because he is going to be a run-first guy. So I think adding Phil Maffa, he is going to be your bulldozer type of guy, and then adding that with a little thunder lightning type combo with Jaden Blue, maybe with Javonte Williams. So I'm looking forward to that one. As far as the running back room, Malik Davis did an absolute good job as well because he got put in late in the game, and at that point, the offensive line was absolutely gashing the Rams' defensive line. Something I got to give him positive. Offensive line actually held up pretty well overall, specifically later on in the game. So they did an absolute sensational job. I think Phil Maffa was even close to averaging 5 yards a carry. If he didn't get to 5, I know he was in the low 4s. So I thought I was really pleased with the run game. Now, pass concepts wise, I can say, although it wasn't a great show out, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed what I saw for the most part than what I've seen in Mike McCarthy's scheme. So that's something as well that was a little positive for me. It's just, I think it just wasn't overall for the game. It wasn't a great start. I don't think Brian Schottenheimer put the team in a good position, specifically on offense to start off, and then on defense, they were out there on cruise control. And later on in the game, they got better as the game progressed, but I don't know if that had to do with just because the Rams already threw their fastball, had their good stuff in the beginning of the game, and everything vanillaed out later on in the game, or I don't know. Or it had to actually do with the Cowboys actually wanting to play football, but I don't know. But it felt like a snooze fest, specifically in the first half. And then in the second half, it got a little bit better. So I'm interested to see how Brian Schottenheimer is able to take that second half performance and to be able to translate it going into Baltimore, playing against Baltimore, because they're going to be in Dallas against Baltimore going on Saturday. Because we know historically Baltimore is a great preseason team. So it's going to be a great litmus test to see exactly what's going on with the Brian Schottenheimer-led Dallas Cowboys culture. Now we can get to the Micah Parsons, all that. But I just wanted to get to the preseason game. So, positives, really standout positives: run game, offensive line, Donovan Ezaraku to a certain degree, Maurice Leofau, Zion Childress. Those guys were great. Super negatives, defense as a whole, honestly, run and pass D wasn't the best, specifically the run defense. Wide receivers, I don't think, specifically like Jalen Cropper and a couple guys, they did not have their best game. And I got to give credit to a couple of wide receivers as well. Trayshawn Holden is one. He had a couple of big plays there at the end of the game. Jalen Brooks, another kid, I forgot his name. He's wearing number 6. I can't remember his name, but he did an absolutely exceptional job as well, and I enjoyed him. And I hope Dallas could possibly find him a place on the team. And yeah, so those are the negatives for me altogether. Some of the wide receiver play was not the best. A lot of it had to do as well because Joe Milton wasn't on his best game. But yeah, I think that's all I have from the top of my head. But overall, it was a pretty lackluster performance by the Dallas Cowboys. Although I was not expecting much better than what they put on, I still wanted them to show a little bit more fight than what they did. And I think they can build on what they had in the second half. And I'm pretty interested to see what Brian Schottenheimer and the guys will put together coming in on Saturday night. But what did you guys think of the preseason game for the Dallas Cowboys? Did you think they played up to par? Or did you think it was disappointing and lackluster and not 100% effort? I would say their effort Saturday was 75% at best. I want to know of your comments and your thoughts down below.